Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, from Asus to Rogue, it's going to be PartinG versus Serral here on Oxide, the latter edition. Bottom left, it is PartinG with his own face on the front of Thomas the Tank Engine as a spinning logo. And in the top right here, we have Serral. These two players have played against each other so many times over the years. And is this going to be a proxy from PartinG? Maybe just a roundabout way to block the hatch? Yeah. Yes, it is going to be that. Serral's like, it's cool. I know you're going to block the hatch. What's up, George? Dun, 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 dun. He has 300 minerals exactly as he gets to here, which means he was planning on that. Alright, man. So PartinG is a 2011 world champion. Well, the 2011 world champion. 1 year after StarCraft 2 came out. Somicron doesn't think that counts, but, you know, PartinG is excellent. Excellent at micro, excellent at opening cheeses, excellent at long games, and medium-sized games, 2-base pushes. So we're going to see how he's going to harass Serral to give himself the best chance to win. Ka-chow. What are we doing? Normal stuff, man. Serral is just getting Extractor and Pool. And that second base is coming up. His third's going to be about 230. Nothing too crazy about this at all thus far. I think everything is very, very normal and standard here in PvZ land for your Sunday. Ah, man, looking forward to this, too. I'm telling you, PartinG's had a bit of a resurgence lately. I'll tell you, a year ago, I would have been like, Serral versus PartinG, okay. But, man, PartinG has really done well in the last half of 2021, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do here against more recent former world champion, Serral. 2 sets of Lings. Cool, cool. Gonna get speed now. Yep, perfect timing there. Do a bit of a Maynard transfer over to the second base and the third base location, and you may be going to expand? No. Not enough resources for that. Ooh, actually droning a little bit here. Hold on. Hold on to your horses. Maybe not going entirely... Oh, interesting. Not going for that third base quick timing. Ooh, this could be interesting for PartinG. Does he know? Oh, all right, fine. Just like 240 instead. Like a 245 instead of a 230. So doing it at 23 workers instead of like 19 or 20 or 21. That's fine, I guess. I'm not going to complain too much. Just a few more workers available in the early stages, which it slows down your ability to get, obviously, the larva off the third base, but whatever. I think it's okay. Stargate coming in from PartinG with a capital G. Always keep that in mind when you say PartinG, is that it's with a capital G. Void Ray opening, not going for that Oracle. So Void Ray going to be here to kill Overlords. That's why this Overlord is running. He's basically like, okay, there's a pretty solid, nice Ling Scout, by the way. Sees what's coming out here too, because as always, you can tell it's being made in a Stargate based on the shape of the thing that's coming out of it. Like you can see the Void Ray in there. It's not super mega clear, but you can tell it's not an Oracle and it's not a Phoenix. So yeah, 2 out of 3 chance that it's something that will kill that Overlord, whether it's a Phoenix or whether it's a Void Ray. So yeah, pulling those Overlords back is a smart play by Serral. Nobody ever said that Serral was dumb, that's for sure. Third Nexus, naked third from PartinG. This is something that other Zerg players like Raynor will try to jump on. I'll try to get up here with about 20 Lings and shut it down. Because it's very minimally defended here. I know there's a Void Ray, but they don't kill Lings that quickly. And this Adept can't do it either. But as it stands, nah, just a handful of Lings. Really droning up here, 5 drones at a time in production. And PartinG gets away with a sneaky fast third base, which does get scouted, so that's the big deal, is that Serral knows what's happening here. Creep spread indicates, where are we going to expand? Creep spread doesn't really give him a good location for expanding, does it? We're going to name this Oracle, it's Ronnie the Hampocalypse. I don't know what that is. Is that the name of the pig that Homer gets in the Simpsons movie? Hampocalypse sounds very Simpson-y to me. I don't know why else. What else to think about? Ah, Creep Tumor sniped. Take that. PartinG draws first and second and third line blood. All this blood has been spilled by him. See that? Nothing Protoss has died yet. It's been a perfect game so far from PartinG, but as they always say, every war plan is great until it hits contact with the enemy. What is it? No military plan survives contact with the enemy. What's the... I think it's Sun Tzu. I don't know. But it's a phrase that's always stuck with me, because it's true, especially in StarCraft, man. You can have the greatest plan to be maxed out on, like, Brewlords and Corruptors at 12 minutes, and then you get harassed, and you're like, wait, and you have to, like, make other stuff, and while you're defending, you forget to drone and don't get upgrades and don't upgrade to a lair. And what makes the good players is they can be harassed and still get their upgrade timings up. You know, lair timing, fine. PartinG, same thing. He can harass and be working on disruptor production, making another Stargate back home, always be making probes. That's what it's all about. This is the, I mean, most anemic, adept timing I've ever seen. 6 minutes? And it's only 7 adepts? Yeah, no, this isn't going to work. Yeah, they don't want to do that. There's roaches and lings and queens all over the place. They're going to survive. They're going to survive and live to fight another day. That's what they're going to do. All right, Spire coming in from Serral. He feels like this is going to be something sky tossy, which is not entirely wrong. We do have two Void Rays. I don't know. Mutas could be okay here. I know some people disagree with me on that, whether Mutas are going to be good against Void Rays, but I say they're not bad. The problem is the Phoenix, right? That's why. Oh, hang on. Oh, they finished their transfer, but like right on top of a bunch of roaches. So sure, some drones are going to die, but you know, 7, 8, maybe 10 drones down in exchange for about 6 adepts. Okay, fine. Oh, 12. Ooh, a little bit higher than I wanted that to be. So 12 drones down for all the adepts in the universe, and now we're making 7 drones at a time because the adepts are gone. The ability to harass has been removed. Like, that's the trick here, is that, sure, you YOLO'd in those adepts. Other times, Terrans will YOLO in some Hellions, and yep, they'll get 10, 15 drone kills, but the Zerg player knows you can't do that again, right? At this stage of the game, you can't have another 12 Hellions. You can't have another 8 adepts to roll in, so we're just going to drone, replace those losses, and be up to 77 workers in 7.5 minutes anyway. Exactly. Exactamundo. Queen count's heavy enough to deal with these Void Rays very easily. There is... Okay, alright. So we are going for the Fleet Beacon here. And yeah, I mean, there is an oversaturation of workers. That is how well he's replaced his drones from that attack. So he needs to transfer a bunch of them. Yeah, there we go. Here's the transfer. Yeah, these guys coming around, getting double gas at the 4th base. 4th base is now warping in from PartinG, though. And yeah, Fleet Beacon, but no carrier production, no real upgrades on that Fleet Beacon either. Just going for +1 air weapons, but also +1 ground. So this feels from PartinG more like a combination air and ground style Protoss attack here. Which is generally how it's supposed to be anyway, right? The real scary composition from Protoss right now involves not only Void Rays and Phoenix and Carriers and Tempests, but very importantly, High Templar with Storm and Immortals to deal with enemy Roaches and Ravagers and Ultras that try to deal with that ground army. And some Disruptors as well. So having upgrades for your Immortals is nice. I got there's a Changeling in here. Got dropped in a very... I mean, did you need to scout this location, Serral? Why are you doing this? So a handful of Phoenix are out. Infester's on the way. Fluxvane's coming in. Is this... This isn't carriers. This is very strange. This is really strange. This is 4 Phoenix and 7 Void Rays and a couple Disruptors. With Fluxvanes finishing up here now with +1 air at the same time. Man, this is PartinG, though. He will come up with his own strategies. He will march to the beat of his own drum more often than not. And sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it does. So let's see what Serral does here. He's immediately going up to Greater Spire. He's immediately throwing down another Spire, and he's making some Corruptors, but like that Void Ray count is no joke. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting composition here. Just few Zealots. They don't have speed. We're working on that, though. Additional gateways coming in. So maybe trying to make Serral commit to too many Corruptors, right? And then the Corruptors are really bad against the other stuff. against the Void Rays, and against Zealots, and against... Well, these Zealots are all dead. Ah. Yeah, so it's a bunch of... I mean, I guess... Yeah, if you have the Greater Spire, you can also go for Broodlords, which are good against ground stuff, too. Oh, the Void Rays are zippy. They're so fast. So fast. Alright, so Queen count... Oh, there we go. We are just making Broodlords. Okay, so he's not relying on Corruptors necessarily here. He changed every one of his Broodlords, or his Corruptors, into a Broodlord. So reasonable play here for sure. Creep spread pushing right side, creep spread pushing left side. Couple Banelings on a couple Zealots there. That's a good trade for sure. We do have a handful of Charge Lots over here to the right side trying to mess with Serral's 5th base. But yeah, a Roach Baneling style attack should be awesome. Lings roll in and try to deal with this left side 5th that PartinG has. And no, Warping in some Charge Lots, bringing in some Archons, and Void Rays shuts that down. And then Serral decides to counterattack with the Roaches because their utility is going to fall apart fairly quickly here. And yeah, this is exactly it. Serral is maxed out basically on an army of Broodlords, Roaches, and Corruptors right now. More Charge Lots coming up to the north, just constantly trying to hit Serral where he's not. And thus far, I'd say it's working out pretty well for him. A Transfuse available? Yeah, okay, so that Spine Crawler's gonna die. And, okay, hang on, this one Zealot, though. This one Zealot sort of going to town on you a little bit. Serral, okay, he's dead, but you know, he had a couple kills. Not bad. More Zealots coming in to this 5th base on the right side by Serral. Phoenix in here trying to deal just massive damage to the army, just sacrificing themselves to Corruptors. I think maybe he realized that maybe Phoenix aren't exactly what I want here. Pathogen Glands on the way. More Stargate popping up from PartinG. Are we transitioning into more of a carrier style thing? Yes, we are. Okay. So, yep, there's your carriers. Uno, dos, and tres. Tres carriers. More Zealots running around, but Roaches in production, well, in position to handle this. Serral thinking about expanding up toward this top side here. My gosh, the Zealots, though. That wasn't an A move either. That was him very consciously walking into a range where the Spine couldn't hit him. And trying to kill some of these drones, at least forcing them off the minerals, and then trying to work down to the hatchery. Even if they can't get the hatch, they're going to bring it down to a point where it's going to be easier to snipe later by future attackers. So that's nice. Corruptor Ball says, that's that War Prism. That's how you've been sending Zealots in here all this time. Alright, so handful of Spores, Corruptors in the sky, Void Rays. Do they want to jump in here? They're thinking about it. They're very fast, thanks to that Flux Veins upgrade. Oh, but the Overlord spotted him. So I think now PartinG's just going to pull back. He's like, alright, well, Serral is fully ready for that if I head up that direction. So let's be careful, shall we? What was up here? Something was up here. Something was blinking. There's probably more Zealot attacks. I mean, none of this has really harmed Serral all that much. What has he lost? He's lost 20 drones, which is not great. But he's at 78. Resources lost are actually higher for PartinG than for Serral right now on a 7-4 basis. PartinG hasn't expanded in a bit. Serral hasn't expanded in a bit. It is a little bit harder to take these further bases, right? This top left and this bottom right are just a little bit further away. Tectonic Destabilizers on the way. A Mothership coming in from PartinG too. Carriers are moving out. And a lot of Archons on the ground. Yeah, I guess I forgot about Archon being an important part of this composition. What did they kill that had Broodlings? What the what? I don't know, but these Immortals are dead. Oh, hang on. Like, maybe turn around for a second? Okay. Huh. Yep, Zergling's all you need to handle this Adept, Zealot, Immortal incursion, but you might need more than like 6. Oh, maybe not. These Lings are pretty well upgraded, huh? They've got +2 attack, +2 armor. They do have Adrenal Glands. Chitinous Plating is done for the 0 Ultralisks that exist right now from Serral. And here's our Death Ball. Archon, Void Ray, Carrier. The Archons are best against Corruptors. That's usually how they work. Okay, feedback on the Queens. Interesting choice. And then Stasis goes down on a bunch of Broodlings, and then they expire, and the Stasis just is like, alright, cool. If everything in me is dead, I'm done. Oh, recall. It's a recall, plus a Warp Prism for extra super cool stuff. Alright, so top left base dead. There's really no saving that. That little mothership sneaky recall top left side was excellent. PartinG is trying to take this bottom right, which will give him a very nice base advantage. And then he recalls out of there. Nice. So the mothership recall cooldown is independent of the Nexus recall cooldown. So he's able to recall up this way and get out of there pretty quickly. And here is the army. Dark Shrine coming in, +3 air weapons on the way. A Ling Baneling attack rolling into the bottom right here. If they focus this Nexus, I think they can get it. That said, they're also going after some of the cannons, and a recall's not available to jump on this. So, yeah, man, these are... Oh, hang on, Adrenal Gland Lings. He decided to keep the Lings alive, not throw them away. Burrow's over here, but wow. Saw that Burrow happen and stormed him down. That was very well done by PartinG. Is there a Warp Prism over here still? There is. So you're going to wait for this to finish and then maybe attack it? That seems entirely possible. +3 air weapons coming in right now from Serral. Man, Fungal, though. We don't see enough Fungal. I talk about this every time somebody makes an Infestor, but man. I know Fungal doesn't root, and ever since they made that change, it's been kind of the least favorite, well, not the least favorite spell of Zerg, but it's not as favored anymore. But my goodness, the slow, just the mere slow is good enough that it prevents units from running away, and you can kill them much more easily. This is a complete shellacking over... Okay. So PartinG's just going to lose his bottom right base entirely. He's going to head top left and try to get some revenge. Try to avenge the death of that bottom right by maybe going after the top left, but he's turning around. Nexus down. He knows, okay, if Serral has the top left and he doesn't have the bottom right, then Serral has an advantage. If they both have their extreme bases, then they're even on income, and that's actually good for PartinG because his abilities and his units are more cost efficient. And bam, even base count. Check this action out. Yeah, income been kind of favoring Serral over the last little bit. Got some Lings and a single Ultralisk coming into this base. That's okay. That was something to behold. DT's defending it. DT's doing more stuff. These guys trying to hide out in this area. Rev up, Fungal toss down, and see what it means is they can't run away from your Broodlords as fast if they've been fungled. Ooh, High Templar getting chewed up by Broodlings. That's a big deal. 2 High Templar go down here. Transfuses on the Broodlords, keeping them alive. What year is it? Is it 2011? Is it time for Broodlord Infestor? Is that what we're looking at right now? The Infestors and the Queens for the Transfuses and the Broodlords firing down. That was PvZ for a long time back in the day. It was Broodlord Infestor versus like Stalker Colossus Mothership, where you would try to basically black hole. God, what was that? Vortex, right? Vortex in the Broodlords into a big, into nothingness. Remove them from the game. And the Zerg was trying to neural parasite the Mothership the whole time. Yeah, even trying to heal up here, not going to go so well for you, Mr. DT. Oh, shield battery overcharge certainly is, though. And DT has to, or rather Ultralisk has to get out of there, being chased by the very, very fast Zealots. So at this stage, the Broodlords are like, we're playing defensive, which is not really our stronghold, right? Anything slow is not really intended to be a defensive unit. So what you want to do is be pressuring a base with these Broodlords. And I think maybe that's where we're heading right now. Serral's bank is 7,000 minerals and 6,000 gas. PartinG's is 2,000, 1,800. So maybe not doing as well as the Zerg player is. Alright, so this base actually might just go down to a handful of Lings and Ultralisks. That doesn't seem great. I don't know if PartinG has just been too passive in this game, but all he's really done is taken out that top left. Is it time to go? Sure. Mothership, it looks like, got abducted and took some Corruptor hits earlier, but that's not enough to kill it. Or at least it wasn't enough to kill it at the moment. And PartinG says, all right, it's time to go. I am down 2 bases. Not ideal. The top left base is getting killed by DTs and cannons, so Serral's not exactly super hot on his available income either. Microbial Shroud being used. Trying to deal with the interceptors this way. And my gosh, there's an Archon down here. Are there any High Templar in this army? I think Mass Corruptor, yeah. 10 Corruptors at a time. They might actually be able to wipe this out. PartinG says, I can't hold the bottom right. Maybe I can take the top left. Because I seem to have a better time getting my army up there. More probes dying. Oh, the splash here. The splash here. Ling Ultra. Oh, man, the upgrades, though. The upgrades for the Zerg are just too much. Is this it? Is this little handful of Ling Ultra going to take PartinG down? I don't know. Abduct and enough to 2 volley down the carriers. There are 24 Corruptors. Is this all of them? No. Where are the other Corruptors? Okay, some of them are flying in. That Void Raid not really hanging out super well. DT tries to go after... Oh, tries to go after the Greater Spire. Can't quite pull it off. PartinG top left. Trying to warp in up there. Can he do it? More Corruptors in production. More carriers in production. There are Archons. Any High Templar? Yeah. We've got another group of High Templar joining the party here. Here's one of them. His name is Steve. Steve, the High Templar. And look at this. Serral's trying to take this bottom right. And a little welcoming party from PartinG. But then the counter welcoming party works out fairly well there for Serral. And he does save the hatch. Alright, so we're just kind of swapped bases, right? We're just swapping. Nobody's really committed to anything in this game yet. That said, PartinG's lost 30,000 resources. Serral's only lost 14,000, so it's, oh, the High Templar, though. Oh, why? Why did they go up there? What possible purpose did they have to go up that ramp by themselves? Is that just a misclick? Alright, we're committing. Let's go! Microbial Shroud up again. Queen's trying to hang on. So many carriers. The Corruptors don't want to engage, but they kind of have to. I don't know what the Corruptors are doing on that right side. They're just hanging out. They're not killing anything. The Queens are getting obliterated. Desperation, tossing down Fungals. There are enough Corruptors to just wipe out individual carriers here, but also they're kind of getting blown apart by the Void Raids. They have Prismatic Alignment remaining. Can Serral hold on here? He's kind of pushing back. Reinforcement carriers are coming in from the south. 14 Corruptors are in production. The Stalkers on the ground are basically unopposed right now too, which means we need some Ultralisks. They're on the way. Some Lings are actually cruising in now and trying to take down these Stalkers on the ground so the Corruptors can have an easier time against the carriers. This is a tight situation right now, but Serral's up 175 to 116 supply. His superior bank seems to maybe be enough here. It's not over yet, but man, there we go. Now the Corruptors are feeling pretty comfortable jumping on there, individually sniping down these carriers. Parasitic Bomb getting tossed down too. And I think that's it. GG. Serral does come out on top in 23 minutes in a pretty darn good back and forth ZVP there. I mean, yeah, Serral did win that game. He did have a bigger bank at the end of the game there too, which means he made good trades throughout this throughout the entire match. But 5 of his hatches died. Almost 40 drones went down. I mean, he definitely took some hits here today. The other side, though, he was just able to shut down PartinG's attempt to expand at all down here in the bottom right-hand side, right? He completely shut this base down, and then he took this down. It was mined out anyway. And then by the time PartinG had the top left base rolling, it just didn't matter anymore. And PartinG needed to go. And I cannot stress to you how important it was for Serral that PartinG wandered 2 High Templar up this ramp to their deaths. There were Broodlords waiting. They died. I mean, sure, maybe there weren't Broodlords there. Maybe you could feed back an Infestor or a Viper or something, or a Queen. But no, they just died accomplishing nothing at all. That was terrible. 16 carriers down, 47,000 resources lost for PartinG, and 29 for Serral there. DTs did some good work too. They were really responsible for a couple of those hatch snipes, without a doubt. Only 1 Ultralisk died today. That's kind of impressive. It's got 6, and there was 1 in production. There's 1 in production. So, yeah, make infestors, right? Microbial Shroud, I think, helped. I don't think it was the reason that Serral won this game, but it allowed the Queens to stay alive as they were trying to snipe down interceptors much, much longer than if Microbial Shroud was not there. It does decrease damage taken from air units by a full 50%, which is pretty fantastic. It's good. All right. Well, that was a good win by Serral. PartinG did, pretty well too. Some mistakes, and I mean, sometimes it's all about just who makes just a couple mistakes in games like these, right? PartinG really played a great game, but Serral, I guess he had a couple of mistakes of his own and not really, sending enough defense to deal with a Zealot attack or maybe losing a base to DTs. But bigger mistakes from PartinG there, and just some good trades overall from Serral, and that was it. All right, so good game. And that is going to be it for me today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.